Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So yesterday on my community page, I posted a poll asking you if you thought that Joe Biden actually cares about making Social Security a better program for those receiving benefits now, as well as for those potentially receiving benefits in the future if Social Security is still around. And out of the results, of course, we had 83% of you guys saying no, Joe Biden does not actually care about making Social Security a better program. Now, upon entering office, before entering office, one of the reasons that a lot of folks may have actually voted for Joe Biden was because of his 4-point plan to supposedly save Social Security. And out of these points that he made, out of the things that he wanted to do or said that he would do in his 4 years that he had in Washington, D.C. as the President of the United States and the free leader of the world, was to change the cost of living adjustment over to the CPIE method, which annually would result in higher increases. He also said he wanted to increase the special minimum benefit to 25% above the federal poverty line. Now, if they were to do that, those receiving the special minimum benefit would receive an increase of $485. This would be a lot of money. And he said that he was also going to increase payments by 1% every single year from the ages of 78 through 82. So by the time you turn 82, you'd be receiving a 5% increase because that would be a 1% increase annually. Now, to date, he really hasn't pushed any of these proposals to actually come into law. We've had different lawmakers include these proposals in bills, but we haven't actually seen Biden out actively pushing any type of Social Security reform. And why is that, you ask? Well, if you're going to ask, maybe the general American, they would probably say he just doesn't really seem to care, because we have seen him out there pushing other priorities. We've seen him pushing like the Inflation Reduction Act. That ended up getting signed into law, but he's not actually out there pushing any of these Social Security bills. And sure, presidents cannot pass certain laws by themselves. They need Congress to do so. He would need the House and the Senate to pass any law to his desk to be signed into law. But as president, you can certainly go out there and push Congress to do certain things. He can push certain agendas to get certain things done. He had 2 years in office where, the Democrats controlled the House and the Senate, and of course he was in the White House, but he wasn't out there actually actively pushing for any type of Social Security reform. He wasn't pushing for any type of Social Security increases. He wasn't really doing anything for the American people, and you really have to question why. Because back as a senator, he was saying certain things like he wanted to freeze or sunset certain federal programs such as Social Security, Medicaid, and even veterans benefits. Watch.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
So again here, you really have to question, does Joe Biden actually want to improve Social Security? You can look back at that poll. 83% of you guys say that Joe Biden does not care about those receiving benefits now, nor does he care about improving the program in the future. So was that really his 4-point plan? Was that the truth? Was that somebody else's 4-point plan? Because it sure doesn't look like the President of the United States is really doing anything about Social Security now or into the future. You really have to wonder who is actually leading this country right now. Is it Joe Biden? I mean, one of the big problems of this country is, a lot of the people in power right now, both the president and Joe Biden, he's constantly falling down. He's constantly slurring his speech. He doesn't really seem like he's with us right now. A lot of people just think that he's too old, but clearly he's gone. If you look back at his time as vice president, his speeches and everything else, he just looked, a lot more put together than what he does now as the president of the United States. Then we have, senators on both sides of the aisle. We have Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Minority Leader and was the Senate Majority Leader. He's clearly not with us right now. He's freezing up. He's not in a state to be the Minority Leader for the Republican Party. Then we have people like Dianne Feinstein. She's clearly not with us. We have John Fetterman. No idea how he even got voted in as a senator. So we have these very, very powerful people in our U.S. government, and clearly they're just not with us. I mean, how do these people even come into power anyways? Joe Biden, as the active U.S. president, is he really the best person we could have in office right now as the leader of our country and the leader of the free world? I would certainly hope not. I mean, the guy is clearly not with us. And, you know, Republicans and Democrats would both agree. Democrats, I'm sure, would much rather have someone else than Joe Biden in office. All you have to do is look at his popularity ratings. They would much rather have him replaced, not with Kamala Harris, but probably with someone else. I don't know who. I mean, not only is Joe Biden not very good at his job and not really seeming to care about the American people, but he's really hardly ever at his job, because according to the New York Post, actually 40% of his time has been spent on vacation. So according to the New York Post, slacker-in-chief Biden keeps a record 40% vacation pace despite disasters. So as of last Sunday, Biden has spent all or part of 382 of his presidency's 957 days, or 40%, on personal overnight trips away from the White House, putting him on pace to become America's most idle commander-in-chief, according to data calculated by the Republican National Committee and confirmed by the Post using the White House reports of Biden's movements. Quote, "We have millions of illegal immigrants pouring across our borders, violent crime is surging, inflation is crushing hardworking Americans, our enemies around the world are emboldened," Representative Elise Stefanik told the Post. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is filmed on the beach with his handlers, preventing him from speaking to the media to answer basic questions Americans deserve answers to. And she's very right there. I mean, he was asked on the beach about the wildfires that took place in Maui and Hawaii, the devastating effects that it took, people losing their homes, people losing their livelihoods. And what did they get that? And what did they get for that? They got a check for $700. That's all they got. You know, Biden was asked about them. He said no comment. He didn't have any comments whatsoever. Does the guy actually care about the American people? We had the incident, the train derailment that took place in East Palestine, Ohio, and 6 months ago, Biden said that at some point he would definitely visit. That was going to be a priority for him. And then just yesterday, he was asked about that, and he said, well, I just simply have too much going on.
You said in March that you would go to East Palestine, Ohio. You came here. How come you haven't gone to East Palestine yet?
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. I was thinking whether I'd go to East Palestine this week, but I then was reminded I've got to go literally around the world. I'm going from Washington to India to Vietnam and so it's going to be a while. But we're making sure that East Palestine has what they need materially in order to deal with their problems.
So Biden can go to all these different countries and help them out and make them, you know, his priority. But to our communities here at home, he simply just doesn't really even care. I mean, we can send hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries. We can send billions of dollars more to Ukraine. But to the American people, no, you guys don't get a dime. He clearly doesn't care about the American people. He doesn't care about our borders. He doesn't care about, you know, how our communities are doing, our crime rate, the poverty that's taking place. It's insane. And for him to be the best possible selection that we could have to be the leader of our country, well, quite frankly, that is pretty sad, and I think most of you guys would agree. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.